Arya woke before dawn and sat by her window. The sky was pale and quiet, as she thought of Mika, her best friend who had moved to another city last month. Every morning they used to walk together to the bus stop. Now Arya walked alone. Her heart felt heavy. She missed Mika's laughter and the way they shared secrets under the old oak tree. Each step to school reminded her of empty space beside her. She wanted to reach out to hear Mika's voice again, but she did not know how. Inside the classroom, Arya stared at the empty chair next to her desk. She remembered how Mika always passed her a bright sticker or a small note with a funny doodle. Now the notes had stopped. Arya opened her phone and stared at Mika's name in her contacts. She tapped it, then closed the screen. What if Mika was too busy? What if her friend did not want to talk? Doubt filled her mind. Still, the urge to reconnect burned in her chest like a small flame. At lunch, Arya sat under the old oak tree alone. She took out her notebook and tried to write a letter. Words spilled onto the page. I miss you. I think of you every day. I hope you are happy in your new school. Yeah, but the letter felt empty. She folded it and tucked it into her jacket pocket. She wished she could send it by some magic. She wished she could hug Mika across the distance. The silence around her echoed her sadness, but deep inside she felt a spark of hope. That evening, Arya asked her mother for help. She told her about the letter and how she wanted to share a piece of their old friendship. Her mother smiled and suggested they make a small gift package. They chose a soft scarf Mika loved, some homemade cookies, and Arya's letter. They packed everything in a bright box and wrote Mika's address on top. As Arya sealed the tape, she felt her chest lift. This was a step. It was small, but it meant she was trying. Over the next week, Arya checked the mailbox every day. She walked to it with careful steps, her heart pounding. Each time she saw only junk mail, her spirit dipped. Yet she reminded herself, humans do not give up. She took long walks, ran her fingers over the box she sent, and told herself that patience was part of hope. She found strength in small things, watering her plant, helping her neighbor carry groceries, smiling at strangers on the street. These acts made her feel connected to the world and to Mika. Finally, on a rainy afternoon, Arya's father called her inside. She opened the front door and found a letter marked with colorful stamps. Her name was written in Mika's neat handwriting. Her hands trembled as she tore it open. Inside, Mika wrote about her new school, her own loneliness, and how Arya's package had made her smile through tears. She said she missed their walks and asked if they could video chat that weekend. Arya felt tears fill her eyes, but they were tears of joy. Hope had answered her call. That night, Arya set up her laptop. On the desk, under the glow of a small lamp, she wore the scarf Mika had sent and held the cookies in a bowl. When Mika's face appeared on the screen, they both laughed and cried a little. They talked for hours, sharing stories of new teachers, new friends, and old memories. As the call ended, Arya felt a warm glow inside her, a proof of human spirit and the power of hope. She realized that distance could bend, but not break the bonds of friendship. And in that moment, she knew that no silence, no space, could ever stop humanity from reaching out with caring hearts. Ravi sat by his bedroom window, watching the evening sky glow in soft pink. Every dusk reminded him of Nisha, his cousin and closest friend who had moved across the country 3 months ago. They once spent every sunset sharing hopes and dreams on that very windowsill. Now the silence felt heavy. Ravi's heart ached with memory and longing. He picked up his phone and stared at Nisha's name, imagining her voice but never pressing call. Doubt whispered that she had moved on, made new friends, and might not miss him as much as he missed her. At school the next day, Ravi wandered the hallways alone, past the art room where they painted together, in the library corner where they traded comic books. Each empty spot felt like a small loss. During lunch, he sat under a blossoming tree, tapping his fingers on the table. He remembered Nisha's sketch of him smiling under this very tree. His chest tightened with sorrow. Still a small spark of hope glowed inside him, reminding him that human hearts are strong and can bridge any distance. That evening, Ravi's grandmother noticed his quiet mood. She suggested he write Nisha a postcard. Ravi shook his head. What if she thinks it's too old-fashioned? He asked. His grandmother smiled gently. Sometimes simple things mean the most, she said. Encouraged, Ravi dug through his desk and found colorful postcards from his last vacation. He picked one showing a bright lighthouse and began to write, Dear Nisha, I think of you every day. I still wear the blue bracelet you gave me. I hope you are happy. I miss our laughter under the stars. As he wrote, Ravi felt the worry ease from his mind. He drew small doodles in the margins waves of the sea, tiny stars, and a stick figure. Duo holding hands. When he finished, he read his words aloud. His voice sounded hopeful, brave even. He sealed the postcard in an envelope, addressed it, and felt a warm glow of possibility. Tomorrow, he would mail it. This simple act gave him courage, proof that humans do not let fear stop them from reaching out. The next morning, Ravi walked to the postbox near the market. His heart thumped as he dropped the postcard inside. He imagined it traveling across towns, mountains, and rivers to reach Nisha. Each step home felt lighter. He carried himself straighter, as though the world had noticed his bravery. At school, he smiled at classmates and answered questions in class. He felt connected again to the day, to his friends, and to himself. The postcard had done more than carry words. It had carried his hope across the silence. Days passed. Ravi kept busy with sketching and reading. He watered the small cactus on his desk and fed the neighborhood's stray cat he named Luna. Each caring action reminded him that kindness and hope shape the human spirit. He talked to his grandmother about plans for his science fair, remembering how Nisha always cheered him on. These small tasks filled the space inside him and prepared him for whatever news might come. Finally, on a rainy afternoon, Ravi found a letter at the doorstep. His name was scrawled in Nisha's neat handwriting. His hands shook as he opened it. Inside, Nisha wrote how lonely she felt in her new home, and how his postcard had been a bright light on a cloudy day. She told him about her new school, her challenges, and her wish to hear his stories. She asked if he could teach her to draw comic characters over a video call. Ravi's eyes filled with tears of relief and joy. His heart felt full once more. That night, Ravi set up his laptop on his desk, screen lit up with Nisha's smiling face. He held the postcard next to the camera and watched her eyes light up. They talked for hours, sharing jokes, sketches, and dreams for their next summer adventure. As the call ended, Ravi realized that distance had tested their bond, but human spirits, hope, determination, and care had held them together. Closed his eyes, grateful for a friendship that no miles could break, and certain that hope always finds a way. Mira woke to the soft hum of her alarm and stared at the ceiling. The morning light felt empty without Aaron's cheerful greeting. He had moved to another country for college a month ago, and every day since felt like a small loss. Mira slipped out of bed and dressed quietly, her heart heavy with memories of their daily routines. They used to share breakfast, laughing over spilled cereal and half-finished jokes. Now, her kitchen table was still and bare. She missed his easy smile and the way he made everything feel brighter. She longed to reconnect but did not know where to begin. At school, Mira found her day dragging. In art class, she reached for the pencil Aaron had given her, a sleek silver one that felt like a piece of ham paused. Without him, the sketch on her pad looked flat. During lunch, she sat under the cherry blossom tree alone, tracing its pink petals with her eyes. Aaron had promised to visit during spring break, but weeks had passed without a message. Mira pulled out her phone and stared at their chat. His last "I'm fine" hung like a question she could not answer. Wanted to write him a long letter, but feared her words would sound empty. That evening, Mira went for a walk by the river where they used to meet. The water reflected the sunset in soft oranges and purples. She whispered Aaron's name and let the wind carry her hope. By the old wooden dock, she found a smooth stone and held it in her palm. She remembered how Aaron always skipped stones across the water. Mira closed her eyes and pictured him there, feeling the weight and warmth of their shared memories. She opened her eyes. She placed the stone inside her jacket pocket. It felt like a promise. I will find a way. Mira's grandmother noticed her quiet mood. She suggested Mira share a song playlist with Aaron, thinking music might bridge the gap. Mira liked the idea. Music had always been their secret language. She went to her room and opened her laptop. She spent hours choosing songs, cheerful melodies to remind Aaron of happy times, gentle ballads to show how much she missed him, and hopeful tunes that spoke of long journeys and safe returns. As each track loaded, Mira felt a flicker of courage. This was something she could send a piece of her heart in each melody. The next morning, Mira composed a message. "I made this playlist for you. I hope it makes you smile." With a deep breath, she pressed send. The message floated off the screen like a small paper boat on a vast sea. Mira closed her eyes and imagined Aaron clicking play, hearing the first notes and thinking of her. After she sent it, she felt lighter. She believed in the human spirit's power to connect, even across oceans. She carried on with her day, greeting classmates with a brighter voice and helping her teacher arrange art supplies. Each act felt like a stitch in the fabric of hope she was weaving. Days passed with no reply. Mira sometimes felt discouraged, but she reminded herself that patience is part of hope. She continued her routines, feeding the neighborhood cat, watering her balcony garden, and reading her favorite adventure novels. Each kindness she offered to the world echoed the kindness she hoped to share with Aaron. She wrote in her journal at night, not to send it, but to clear her heart. "Humans endure," she wrote, "and we reach out when we care." The words felt true, warming her from within. Finally, one cloudy afternoon, Myra's phone chimed. Her heart pounded as she saw Aaron's name on the screen. His message was simple. "Thank you for the playlist. It means a lot. I've been busy, but I miss you too. Let's video chat this weekend." Mira's eyes filled with tears of relief and joy. She typed back, "I'd love that. I've missed you every day." The response felt like sunlight breaking through clouds. Mira leaned back in her chair, closing her eyes to savor the moment. Hope had found its way. When the weekend arrived, Myra set up her phone on a stack of books and sat in the garden, where cherry blossoms still lingered. She wore the bracelet Aaron had given her and held the smooth stone from the dock. As their faces appeared on the screen, they both laughed and cried. They talked for hours about her art projects, his classes, and the everyday moments they missed. Sharing as the call ended, Mira looked at the blossom petals drifting down around her. She felt the bond between them stronger than ever. Distance had tested them, but it had not broken them. In that gentle spring breeze, she knew that humanity's hope and determination would always light. The way back to each other, Ethan sat on the front porch swing as the sun dipped below the rooftops. The air smelled of summer grass and distant barbecues. He closed his eyes and imagined Lily's laughter echoing in the evening breeze. She had moved 2 months ago to a coastal town for her new job. Every day since, Ethan felt the space beside him grow colder. He missed her easy smile, the way she nudged him when a joke landed flat, and how her bright energy made ordinary moments feel special. Now the swing creaked under his weight, and the world felt quieter without her. Inside the house, Ethan's mother noticed his silence. She brought him a glass of lemonade and sat at the kitchen table. "How are you holding up?" she asked gently. Ethan sighed and stared at the condensation on his glass. "I feel lost," he admitted. "She's so far away now, and I don't know how to reach her." His mother nodded, placing a hand on his shoulder. "Have you tried sharing something that reminds her of you both?" she suggested. Ethan thought of Lily's favorite sunflower, Prince, and the tiny pebbles they collected on weekend hikes. He nodded slowly. "Maybe I can send her something small, something meaningful." He felt a faint spark of hope. That evening, Ethan rummaged through his room for ideas. He found the little wooden box he and Lily had decorated with colorful paint. Inside were keepsakes, a smooth pebble painted like a planet, a pressed flower from their first picnic, and a scribbled note that read, "Best team ever." He took the box downstairs and spread its contents on the dining table. Each item stirred a memory. The pebble reminded him of stargazing nights, the flower of lazy afternoons in the park, and the note of their shared laughter. As he touched each object, Ethan felt warmth return to his chest. These simple treasures could carry his feelings even across miles. Inspired, Ethan gathered fresh sunflowers from the garden. He bundled them with a ribbon and placed the wooden box at the center of a small gift bag. Then he wrote a letter on plain yellow paper, using his clearest handwriting. Dear Lily, every day without you feels different. I still remember our adventures and how you made every moment shine. I hope these sunflowers bring light to your home, just like you bring light to mine. Keep this box close and know that I am always here, cheering for you. Let's talk soon whenever you're ready. With hope and friendship, Ethan, he read the letter aloud, feeling each word settle into his heart. It was simple, honest, and full of hope. He tucked it into the gift bag and sealed it. Tomorrow he would mail it. The next morning Ethan walked to the post office under a bright blue sky. The sunflowers bobbed gently against his chest. He placed the package on the counter and the clerk stamped it with a smile. As the clerk handed him the receipt, Ethan felt a rush of relief. Taken a step forward. No matter what happened next, he had shown Lily that she mattered, and that their friendship was worth the effort. Back at home, Ethan threw himself into his daily routine. He practiced guitar in the backyard, remembering how Lily's voice blended with his chords. He volunteered at the animal shelter, knowing Lily loved helping stray cats. He even tried a new recipe, her favorite pasta, and smiled at the memory of her approving nod. Each small act reminded him of kindness and connection. He felt stronger, filled with a determination that defined humanity, to care, to reach out, and to find light even in distance. Days passed without word. Some mornings, Ethan woke hopeful. Other days, he felt discouraged. But each time doubt crept in, he repeated to himself, "Hope is human strength." He sipped his lemonade on the porch, watered the garden, and practiced gratitude for every moment. The sun still rose and set. Life went on. His patience became an act of faith. Finally, one cool afternoon, Ethan's phone buzzed with an incoming video call. His heart leaped as he saw Lily's name on the screen. He wiped his palms on his jeans and tapped to answer. Lily's face appeared with a sunflower clipped to her hair. Her eyes were bright and a warm smile spread across her lips. Ethan held up his hand in greeting and Lily laughed softly, saying, "These are the most beautiful flowers I've ever seen." They talked for hours. Lily showed him the corner of her new apartment where the sunflowers now stood, and she opened the wooden box, revealing each keepsake. She told Ethan how much the letter meant to her on lonely mornings. Ethan listened, his eyes filling with tears of joy. Their voices filled the space between them, bridging the miles with shared memories and laughter. As the call ended, Ethan leaned back in his chair, heart full. He realized that distance had tested their bond, but humanity's hope and determination had guided him to reach out. He looked at the setting sun and whispered, "We found our way." In that moment, he knew that no distance, no silence could stop the human spirit from connecting hearts across the world. Lena woke to the gentle hum of birds outside her window. The morning sun felt soft, but inside her heart she carried a cold ache. Her brother Omar had moved to a distant city 6 weeks ago to start his first job. Every day since, Lena missed his friendly teasing and the way he taught her new games on the porch. Now her home felt too quiet. She longed to hear his laugh again, but did not know how to reach him. At breakfast, Lena pushed cereal around her bowl. Her mother noticed and asked, "Is everything all right?" Lena shrugged and kept her eyes down. "I just wish I could talk to Omar more," she said softly. Her mother smiled and suggested, "Why don't you try sending him a small gift? Something to remind him of home." Lena thought about this as she washed her dishes. A small gift felt brave. She wasn't sure Omar would like it, but it was a step she could take. After school, Lena went to her room and looked around for ideas. She found the knitted scarf Omar had made for her last winter. It was bright green, with little yellow stars stitched along the edge. She ran her fingers over the soft yarn. Then she remembered the jar of her homemade jam on the kitchen shelf. Omar had loved her strawberry jam when he was home. Lena smiled. She could send him the jam and wrap the scarf around the jar. It would be like sending him a piece of home. That evening, Lena and her mother prepared the package. Lena scooped jam into small glass jars and tied each with a ribbon. She folded the scarf neatly and tucked it beside the jars. Finally, she wrote a letter. Dear Omar, I miss you every day. I hope this jam tastes like home, and the scarf keeps you warm when you feel lonely. Remember that I am always here for you. Let's call each other soon. Love, Lena, as she signed her name. Lena felt her chest grow lighter. She kissed the letter and placed it in the box. She had taken her first step. The next morning, Lena walked to the post office under a pale sky. She carried the box carefully, as though it held her heart. At the counter, the clerk weighed it and stamped it priority. Lena thanked her and stepped outside. She let out a long breath. The package was on its way. She felt a small flame of hope glow inside her. Back at home, Lena kept busy with daily tasks. She practiced piano in the living room, remembering how Omar cheered for her after every song. She helped her neighbor carry groceries, recalling how Omar always lent a hand to others. She drew pictures of places they once visited together. Lake, where they skipped stones, and the old library where they read comic books. Each kind act reminded her of the best parts of being human: caring, giving, and finding joy in simple things. Days passed. Some mornings, Lena rushed to the mailbox, but found only bills and flyers. Doubt crept in like a chill. Did not like the jam? What if he never wrote back? Then she remembered her mother's words. Hope is a choice, not a feeling. Lena kept practicing patience. She continued her routines, offering help and kindness wherever she went. Each sunrise and sunset felt like a promise that distance could not erase the bonds of family. On a bright Saturday afternoon, Lena heard the mail truck rumble down the street. She ran to the door and found an envelope with Omar's handwriting. Her heart pounded as she tore it open. Inside was a photo of Omar, wearing the green scarf, standing by his apartment window. He looked happy and warm. His letter read, Dear Lena, thank you for the jam and the scarf. Every morning, I wear it on my walk to work. Your jam reminds me of home and my sister's love. I miss you too. Let's video chat tomorrow at 6. I can't wait to hear your piano playing. Love, Omar. Tears welled in Lena's eyes, but they were tears of joy. She held the scarf to her heart. In that moment, she felt the power of human spirit, the strength to reach across distance, the patience to wait, and the hope that guided her every step. That evening, at exactly 6, Lena sat by her laptop in the living room. Omar's face appeared on the screen, framed by his apartment walls. He wore the green scarf and waved cheerfully. Lena played a simple melody on her keyboard, and Omar clapped and cheered. They talked for hours, sharing stories of new friends, new challenges, and plans for Lena's next visit. As the call ended, Lena looked at the glowing screen and felt her heart full. She realized that distance had felt like a barrier, but human kindness and hope had built a bridge stronger than miles. In that soft glow of the screen and the echo of Omar's laughter, Lena knew that no matter where they were, their bond would always bring them home. Noah stood at the edge of the soccer field, watching the orange ball bounce away. His friend Sam had moved to the countryside 3 months ago, and every kick of that ball reminded him of the afternoons they spent playing together. Now Noah felt the field was too large and empty without Sam by his side. He missed Sam's quick passes, his jokes, and the way they celebrated each goal. As Noah picked up the ball and tucked it under his arm, his heart felt heavy. He wanted to reconnect, but did not know how. At home that evening, Noah sat at his desk and stared at Sam's old jersey folded neatly in a box. He remembered the day Sam gave it to him as a gift, its bright green color, the number 7 stitched on the back. The box also held a friendship bracelet they had made together. Noah touched the threads softly and wondered if these small memories could find their way back to Sam. He opened his notebook and began to write ideas: a letter, a video message, a care package. But he paused each time, unsure what Sam would like. The next morning, Noah's mother found him sitting quietly over breakfast. She asked, "How are you feeling about Sam?" He sighed and confessed, "I feel distant. I want to hear his voice again, but I don't know how to reach him." His mother smiled and said, "Why don't you send him a voice recording? Let him hear your laughter and stories." Noah brightened at the thought. Voice messages could carry his real voice, something Sam would recognize and feel close to. That afternoon, Noah set up his phone on a small tripod and pressed record. He spoke clearly. "Hey Sam, it's Noah. I miss our games. I'm sending you a story I wrote. About our last match? I hope you like it. Let's play again soon, even if it's just over video." He read the story out loud with dramatic pauses and silly voices. When he finished, he laughed at his own jokes and waved at the camera. He saved the file and hit send. As the message left his phone, Noah felt a warm spark of hope. He had shared his voice, the most personal part of himself. Over the next days, Noah kept busy. He practiced tricks with the soccer ball, tried new recipe ideas in the kitchen, and helped his neighbor carry groceries. Each task reminded him of Sam's kindness and of how humans reach out to one another in small ways. When doubts crept in, he told himself, hope is stronger than fear. He planted sunflower seeds in his backyard, thinking they would grow tall, just as his friendship could grow stronger with time. On a rainy afternoon, Noah heard the ping of his phone. His heart raced as he saw a voice message from Sam. He pressed play and listened to Sam's familiar laugh. Sam said, "Noah, your voice made me smile so much. I love the story, especially the part where you pretended to be the referee. Let's chat this weekend and play a virtual match." Noah's chest felt light, as if a weight had lifted. Replayed the message, savoring every word. Distance had seemed so big, but his friend's voice bridged the gap in an instant. That weekend, Noah set up his laptop by the fireplace and logged into the video call. Sam's face appeared wearing a red jersey and a grin that Noah knew well. They kicked a soft foam ball back and forth on their screens, laughing at every missed catch. They talked about school, family, and their favorite snacks. As the call ended, Noah felt a deep sense of hope. He realized that no distance, no silence, could stop human hearts from connecting when they truly care. The next week, Noah received a small package in the mail. Inside was Sam's old water bottle, painted bright blue, and a note that read, "For our next match, in person or online. Miss you, buddy." Noah grinned and held the bottle close. He set it on his desk next to his own soccer ball. Every time he looked at it, he remembered that hope and effort could bring friends together, no matter how far apart they lived. That evening, Noah kicked the ball softly against the wall in the yard. He imagined Sam standing across from him, ready to pass. With each kick, his heart felt lighter and stronger. He whispered to the empty field, "We will play again soon." And in that quiet moment, he knew the human spirit, full of hope, creativity, and care, would always find a way to reach out and reconnect. Noah stood at the edge of the soccer field, watching the orange ball bounce away. His friend Sam had moved to the countryside 3 months ago. Every kick of that ball reminded him of the afternoons they spent playing together. Now Noah felt the field was too large and empty without Sam by his side. He missed Sam's quick passes, his jokes, and the way they celebrated each goal. As Noah picked up the ball and tucked it under his arm, his heart felt heavy. He wanted to reconnect, but did not know how. At home that evening, Noah sat at his desk and stared at Sam's old jersey folded neatly in a box. He remembered the day Sam gave it to him as a gift, its bright green color, the number 7 stitched on the back. The box also held a friendship bracelet they had made together. Noah touched the threads softly and wondered if these small memories could find their way back to Sam. He opened his notebook and began to write ideas. A letter, a video message, a care package. But he paused each time, unsure what Sam would like. The next morning, Noah's mother found him sitting quietly over. "Breakfast," she asked. "How are you feeling about Sam?" He sighed and confessed, "I feel distant. I want to hear his voice again, but I don't know how to reach him." His mother smiled and said, "Why don't you send him a voice recording? Let him hear your laughter and stories." Noah brightened at the thought. Voice messages could carry his real voice, something Sam would recognize and feel close to. That afternoon, Noah set up his phone on a small tripod and pressed record. He spoke clearly. "Hey Sam, it's Noah. I miss our games. I'm sending you a story I wrote. About our last match. I hope you like it. Let's play again soon, even if it's just over video." He read the story out loud with dramatic pauses and silly voices. When he finished, he laughed at his own jokes and waved at the camera. He saved the file and hit send. As the message left his phone, Noah felt a warm spark of hope. He had shared his voice, the most personal part of himself. Over the next days, Noah kept busy. He practiced tricks with the soccer ball, tried new recipe ideas in the kitchen, and helped his neighbor carry groceries. Each task reminded him of Sam's kindness and of how humans reach out to one another in small ways. When doubts crept in, he told himself, hope is stronger than fear. He planted sunflower seeds in his backyard, thinking they would grow tall, just as his friendship could grow stronger with time. On a rainy afternoon, Noah heard the ping of his phone. His heart raced as he saw a voice message from Sam. He pressed play and listened to Sam's familiar laugh. Sam said, "Noah, your voice made me smile so much. I love the story, especially the part where you pretended to be the referee. Let's chat this weekend and play a virtual match." Noah's chest felt light, as if a weight had lifted. Replayed the message, savoring every word. Distance had seemed so big, but his friend's voice bridged the gap in an instant. That weekend, Noah set up his laptop by the fireplace and logged into the video call. Sam's face appeared wearing a red jersey and a grin that Noah knew well. They kicked a soft foam ball back and forth on their screens, laughing at every missed catch. They talked about school, family, and their favorite snacks. As the call ended, Noah felt a deep sense of hope. He realized that no distance, no silence, could stop human hearts from connecting when they truly care. The next week, Noah received a small package in the mail. Inside was Sam's old water bottle, painted bright blue, and a note that read, "For our next match, in person or online. Miss you, buddy." Noah grinned and held the bottle close. He set it on his desk next to his own soccer ball. Every time he looked at it, he remembered that hope and effort could bring friends together, no matter how far apart they lived. That evening, Noah kicked the ball softly against the wall in the yard. He imagined Sam standing across from him, ready to pass. With each kick, his heart felt lighter and stronger. He whispered to the empty field, "We will play again soon." And in that quiet moment, he knew the human spirit full of hope, creativity, and care would always find a way to reach out and reconnect. Zoe woke early, before the sun rose. She sat on the edge of her bed and stared at the empty desk drawer. Daniel, her art teacher and mentor, had moved to another country to lead a new program. Every morning, Zoe used to find him there with a sketchbook ready. Now the drawer was bare, and Zoe felt a hollow ache. At school, Zoe passed by the art room and paused at the door. She could almost hear Daniel's soft voice guiding her hand. Instead, she saw silent easels and blank canvases. Her heart tightened. She loved art because he believed in her. Now she felt lost without his steady encouragement. She missed him more than she expected. That afternoon, Zoe tried to draw, but her lines trembled. The pencil felt heavy in her fingers. She closed her eyes and pictured Daniel's smile. She remembered how he said, "Art is about telling the world who you are." Zoe whispered his words over and over, trying to summon courage. She wanted to tell him how much he meant to her, but she did not know where to begin. At home, Zoe's mother noticed her sad eyes. She suggested Zoe paint a picture for Daniel. "He would love to see your work," her mother said gently. Nodded and went to her desk. She chose bright colors, sky blue, sunny yellow, soft pink. She sketched a scene of their art room with easels, brushes, and a big open window letting light inside. As she painted, her heart felt lighter. That evening, Zoe found an old wooden frame Daniel had given her. She cleaned it and placed her new painting inside. She took a photograph of the framed art and sent it to him with a message. "I painted our art room so it can feel full again. I miss you and hope you are well." Her fingers trembled as she hit send. Then she held her phone to her chest and took a deep breath. Over the next days, Zoe kept busy. She visited the local gallery, learning from other artists' works. She practiced new techniques and helped her classmates with silly clay projects. Each act reminded her that art and kindness are human strengths, She wrote small notes to friends, encouraging them. Every day she repeated to herself, "Hope makes us strong." Zoe checked her messages often but found none from Daniel. Doubt crept in like a cold wind. Had he received her painting? Did he like it? She worried her gestures might feel silly from afar. Yet each time she felt fear, she remembered why she tried. Because humans reach out when they care. She refused to let silence defeat her hope. One Saturday, Zoe's phone buzzed in the afternoon. Her heart jumped. The message was from Daniel. He wrote, "Zoe, your painting is beautiful. When I saw it, I felt like I was back in the art room. With you, I am proud of your courage and growth. Let's plan a video workshop soon so I can guide you again." Tears filled Zoe's eyes. Relief and joy washed over her. That evening, Zoe set up her desk by the window with the framed painting. Beside her laptop, Daniel appeared on the screen, his expression warm. They spent hours discussing color, technique, and new ideas. He asked her questions and offered gentle advice. Zoe laughed at his jokes and shared her dreams for the next collection. As they talked, the distance between them seemed to vanish. After the call, Zoe turned off her laptop and looked at her painting. She felt proud and hopeful. She realized that distance had tested her creativity and courage, but it had not broken her spirit. She understood that humans, at their best, do not surrender to fear. They reach out, create beauty, and carry hope across any divide. Before bed, Zoe wrote in her journal, "Today I learned that hope grows with every act of courage." Art connects us no matter how far apart we are. Placed the journal on her desk next to the framed painting. As she turned off the light, Zoe smiled, certain that tomorrow's sunrise would bring new inspiration and that her bond with Daniel would continue to guide her hand. Heart and spirit. Ask ChatGPT, you said. Part 8. Write a 800-word story in simple English about someone feeling distant from a person they care about who moved away. The character feels sad and wants to reconnect but doesn't know how. The story should show their HFY and hope ChatGPT said, thought for a couple of seconds. Kai woke to the sound of his alarm and stared at the ceiling. The morning light felt dim without Alex's voice greeting him. Alex, his closest friend since kindergarten, had moved to a distant country 4 months ago for work. Every day, they used to meet at the bakery on Maple Street, sharing pastries and plans for the weekend. Kai walked past that bakery alone, its windows reflecting empty tables and his own sad expression. He missed Alex's easy laugh and the way they finished each other's sentences. Kai longed to reconnect but did not know how. At school, Kai struggled to focus. In physics class, he stared at the chalkboard equations and remembered Alex's jokes about the mystery of gravity. During lunch, he sat on a bench under the elm tree and traced the carved initials they had made. The initials were still clear, a +K inside a heart. Kai's chest tightened with longing. He took out his phone and opened their chat where the last message from Alex said only, "Busy week. Talk soon." The silence that followed felt louder than any words. He wanted to send something meaningful, but he worried Alex was too busy now. That evening, Kai's grandmother noticed his silence at dinner. She asked, "How are you feeling about Alex?" Kai sighed and pushed his peas around his plate. "I miss him," he admitted. "I tried to message, but I don't know what to say." His grandmother smiled kindly and reached across the table. "Why not share something that shows